Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales Symphonia Remastered. I know that, I'm doing this again rather than, alternating between edgelord, but it's a combination of, I don't know how long this particular stream's going to be, so I felt that Symphonia might be a little easier to stop if I had to, end early. And B, we still need to grind out some cash to get the equipment that I need to, try to defeat the skeletal dancer. So this episode is going to be a little bit, combat focused, as we are going to be ultimately mostly just fighting enemies and whatnot. Because I'm still deciding, ooh, I don't know if... Because it's it might be fun to do the dungeons out of order for the first time ever. If that's something we can do. I mean, I know we can do it. I just don't 100% know how to... Even okay, because the game is kind of set up in terms of level scaling for you to take on the water dungeon first and then the wind dungeon. But you can do wind first. That's completely possible. I'm not one... No, wait, no. I do remember how to trigger it. Okay. But I don't know if triggering that will make the sword dancer disappear, and I really want to get that sword, so I'm trying to... I just need to make sure I can get us better equipment.
I beg of you to feel thy glory. Angel feathers!
Blame your fate.
Plus, I suppose this way it'd be a way for me to accumulate some grade, so... All's well that ends well, I guess.
Reinforcement! Are you okay? I beg of thee to reveal thy glory. Angel feathers!
Whee!
Are you okay?
Blame your fate.
But I don't want to blame my fate. Fate's my buddy. We're friends. We often sit down and have biscuits and tea. Alright, since I'm actually looking for fights, this is... Well, it's still better just to use long-range mode in general.
Angel feathers!
Ha. I said at least the game didn't slow down during combat, a few streams ago when we were doing the first dungeon, but it's slowing down here.
Don't overdo it.
I mean, I suppose one other benefit about, grinding out the gold is I am also grinding out experience. Hopefully that'll make things a little easier as well. Let me think. If I remember... Sorry, just quickly reminding... Okay. Maybe if I can just get... Because I think so far the only place I've seen a better shield is with crafting and whatnot. So I think... Oh, geez. I apologize if you guys heard that. I thought that had finished. If I can at least get Krato's better basic armor, that might be better. That might give us a better chance. I mean, again, so far everyone's got better weapons, so that should help. Good, got some cabbage from that fight, so more cooking options are available. Let's see, how many? 6 life bottles, 14 apple gels. Realistically, I probably want to be grinding out life, bottles and whatnot for the life, whatever. Now, spoilers, this is the wind dungeon I'm going to, but we actually can't gain access to it just yet, so I don't Right. I was also hoping that Rain would somehow learn Photon by now. But yeah, just simply coming here doesn't trigger access to the next dungeon because I need a special item to get inside. Boo! Negative grade. That's not fair. Okay, it's totally fair. That wasn't exactly a great, you know, performance or whatever. Wow, it's huge. So this is the Balcroft Mausoleum. It's just as beautiful as they say. This building is an altar to what that was used to offer sacrifice to the gods more than 5,000 years ago. Later, King Balcroft passed away and... Professor, that's enough. What do you mean, enough? I'm just gonna ignore you. This is why those with no spirit of inquiry are doomed. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I know. Oh, money. Thank you. That's going to be very helpful. Yes, blah, blah, blah. I know. Just that kind of response reminds me. It's like, why don't you think the mountains near you are so, you know, unique and interesting? I'm like, because I grew up with them. Because, yeah, need an item to gain access. Don't have said item. So, okay, cool. Just wanted to come and see if anything, there are any special cutscenes coming here this early, you know.
Don't let up.
Are you okay?
Thrust. Follow it up. Cross thrust.
Great thrust. Are you okay?
Don't overdo it.
You know, I like this enemy's gladiator design. It's, you know, for lack of a better word, it's to the point.
Sorry. Are you okay?
I know it's an odd compliment to give, but, you know. I think in general, I love the designs in this
Never
game.
stood a chance.
Because again, especially at the time where some of the only fantasy games I'd ever really seen were like Zelda or a couple Final Fantasy games. Especially with the designs of the main characters felt very different than what I'd come to expect from fantasy video games. I mean, okay, yes, like these are some pretty standard wizard enemy designs.
Are you okay?
You know, something I am kind of amused about with Kratos' design is that, what's it called? He's a sword and shield user, but in almost every cutscene where we actually see Kratos, you know, using his weapons, he almost never uses a shield. It's just him with his sword.
Are you okay? I beg of thee to reveal thy form. Angel feathers. Are you okay?
Ooh, what a lovely cabbage roll. Yes, cabbages do indeed roll right down the hill. I'm very proud of you for knowing this. Yeah, I am very much on the fence about whether or not I really want to do these dungeons out of order. Again, it's not technically out. Again, you can do them in these two dungeons in whatever order you want. The game is designed for it. But like I said, the level scaling is more that the water dungeon is easier than the wind one. So it's like, ooh.
Just warming up.
Do I want to do them out of order? Because I've never done that before, so it'd be kind of fun to see. Or since I don't have the extra experience, like you can get New Game Plus, should I just stick with the normal one, just for the sake of simplicity for myself. Not sure. Don't have an answer just yet.
Are you okay?
Here we go. Demon Fang. Sonic Thrust.
Hammer.
Since I imagine many of you guys watching maybe have not even, played the game period, so
Are you okay?
regardless of which one we do, it'll be a new fun experience for you guys.
Sharpness. I beg of you.
I appreciate you trying to summon up, more angel feathers, but there's one enemy left, and he's sad and lonely, so don't worry about it. Well, I should be able to afford at least a few of the things I'm working towards.
Sonic Thrust.
Angel feathers. Are you okay?
What is this, a fighting game? Beast is supposed to be like the big, end-all, be-all power attack. Who said you could just ignore it? There are some good items you can get later in the game that allow for TP recovery just periodically. I really can't wait to get one of those for Rain, because it helps a lot. Like, a lot. Since she and Genus in particular both could use one, since their basic attack combo is only like 2 kind of slow attacks, which result in, very slow TP regeneration just by whacking people. Now, I'm going here first, because if I remember correctly, I think staying at the inn here is significantly cheaper than the inns available in Asgard. We'll pick a few more fights, just
Here comes more.
again for some more gold. One thing I do kind of wish, so like you might remember when we crossed that trail over the mountain. Yeah, so none of the, enemy sprites you can run into to initiate the battles really look like what you fight in battle, but in the actual dungeons it's like, okay, here's a worm enemy design, so that means you'll fight more like vermin and insect-like enemies. Oh, there's just a random dude walking around, that means you'll fight more humanoid-looking enemies. I wish there was something like that in the overworld, rather than just, here are the little encounters and here are the bigger ones. If that, I'm sure it's kind of self-explanatory from what I mean by that, but
We can do it.
just because, especially in some cases, especially when we're by Haima, I'm like, could you give me some indicator about which ones that will have cockatrices and which ones won't?
Are you okay? First
To the armory! Oh, that poor load time. A moment of silence for those, creaky joints as it tried to wake itself up in the morning. Alright, I think... Okay. Again, I'm not buying... I'm going to actually avoid that most of the or not earth, just elemental weapons for this first little bit, just due to the simple fact that they kind of become problematic in certain dungeons. Like, especially since, like, we're gonna have to go to the water dungeon at some point in the near future. I don't want to constantly have to be taking that dagger on and off, so we're gonna just kind of ignore that one. Oh, I guess I could have just bought one and then, whatever. It's still nice to have better armor for everybody, since... Alright, still... I know... I'm trying to remember if it's possible to get these crafting materials through random fights, or if you have to specifically... Oh, wait, I'm not... Or if you can only get them through random, you know, chests you find throughout the world, and, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, and the grade exchange, since, again, I do not exchange my grade. Alright, let's grab a few more. I went right by the life bottles. Yeah, let's grab 2 more of those. Okay. You know what? Let's head back. Let's see if we can take on the Sword Dancer. And we'll pick some fights along the way for more. Let's see, am I about to learn anything new? No. Double Demon Fang. Okay, dual ray thrust. Okay, and oh, you're about to learn Stalagmite. Okay. Let's get some use. Let's get some...
Take this.
There we go.
Double Demon Fang. Demon Fang. Sonic Thrust.
Alright, cool. Well, I'll bring Lloyd back after this fight. Now that Kratos is learned. Actually, you use Stone Blast. You use Ray Thrust. Cool.
All talk, no action.
I mean, we did get some action in there. There was some fighting. There was some blows being exchanged. So just saying there's absolutely no action, I feel, is a bit... It's underselling, you know, just everything that, you know, was going on there. So... Let's see. Yeah. I'm just going to be kind of spamming the moves in question just so they could try to learn. Since I've mentioned it. There we go. Cool. Since, yeah, so to learn the upgraded versions of a lot of their abilities, you got to use the base form of that move. Yeah, I will never understand. So Sunshine, their go-to character was Colette. I don't remember if it's because, you know, they had to play Colette it was because they played Colette when my friend brought this game over to introduce us, so they just got used to playing as her. But I will never get used to using Colette. She's I mean, I guess she's technically a hybrid character, but the only spells she really learns are from her angel transformation, which are a wee bit infrequent, if I'm being perfectly honest. So for the most part, she's meant to be more of a physical fighter, but I've just never been able to do much with her due to just how clunky I feel a lot of her combat is. Okay, Stone Blast is the up combo.
One right after another.
Are you okay?
Double demon fang.
This is a very dull
Demon fang.
job I have right now, just having Venus cast the same spell on repeat. You know, again, much how I commented, you know, seeing Rain in the opening cutscene, thinking she had like a monk type, you know, combat style with the fast swinging of the attacks. You know, just seeing Genis whip his kendama around in the opening cinematic, which, yes, I haven't shown any of you guys the opening cinematic to this game.
Give them no quarter.
You wouldn't realize, you would think he could attack much quicker than he does in this game.
Don't overdo it. First aid. Fireball.
Not what I meant to do. I accidentally hit up on Kratos's too. So he didn't do Sonic Thrust, he did. You saw what happened.
Double demon fang.
I was just warming up.
Well, I think you got many of the ladies in the audience warmed up, so... Dull applause, dull applause. Here, we're almost there. One more fight.
Let's go all out.
Ready? First aid. Get him! Doom blast! Okay. Barrier!
That is definitely one downside about grinding the spells, is since they take way longer to go off. It takes much longer to get their, what's what I'm looking for?
Here!
For the, their hit, or their usage to go up.
No way.
Don't overdo it. First aid. Don't overdo it. First aid.
Get him! Don't bother me!
Yeah, I realized trying to cast a spell right underneath that thing was probably a mistake. But I'd already started casting, and I'm like, well, but canceling it out like takes like 2 button inputs, so I don't really feel like doing that. In we go. Alright, we're gonna sleep at the inn and then be on our way. Out of the way, out of the way.
Stop.
Oh,
Kronos, what's wrong?
Oh, I apologize about the disturbance. Our friend was back.
Not again. Are you okay?
you know, I've actually
He's hardly a threat.
never
I see.
actually seen
All right, I'm heading back to my room then.
this particular thread of someone breaking into the rooms. I've never actually seen it through to its conclusion, due to the fact that I'm never 100% sure what inns you need to stay at, and, well, okay, so I'm just going to turn every one of your abilities off but Stone Blast, just so I don't have to keep playing as you and the really boring fights. I'm not always 100% sure which is the next inn it'll trigger in. And after you pass a certain point in the game, then the what's what I'm looking for? Then this particular plot point does not continue. Bracelets are an arm thing. And may up defense. Gloves up. Well, gloves up defense too. So I guess the bracelet is better then. Alright. Either way, I'm a little... defense might help with that. Whatever. I'm saving my money for now. Alright. Oh, wrong button. Giddy up. Okay, I'm not going to be actively looking for fights this way through since I want to try to get to the Sword Dancer, just to try to minimize how much grinding we're actually doing just so we can show more stories, but I will fight whatever we come across. Plus, again, more money and such.
I'll help.
All right.
Hey,
This isn't our day.
No way.
Don't overdo it.
I bet Link can't move this fast on Epona. My dog is better than a horse.
Understood. Are you
Only
okay?
got a few Panacea bottles left, so I'm going to try to use as few of them as possible.
Are you okay? First aid.
Don't overdo it. First aid. Take this. First aid.
Are you okay? First aid.
Like that.
Don't overdo it. First aid. Sonic thrust.
Oh,
Are you okay?
No way.
Are you okay?
Don't overdo
First
it.
aid.
someone recover Genus, please.
Don't overdo it. First aid.
By someone, I mean Rain. Please recover Genus, please. Thank you.
Here we go.
Sonic thrust.
Lightning.
Follow it up. Cross thrust.
Good.
Are you okay?
Good. Good. No more stoned birds. We'll be fine.
Are you okay?
Woo!
All right.
We got the birds. We killed the mantis thingies. I mean, okay. I'm just assuming those are supposed to be praying mantis monsters. I mean, they honestly look... If it wasn't for the way their legs were structured, as well as, like, the scyther hands, I would think those are lizard monsters, if I'm being perfectly honest. Oh, no!
Don't get too comfortable.
Oh, my gosh. Simple wolves and snakes? I haven't seen them in, well, since last stream.
All right.
Hell, no wonder the gold payout is so minuscule since that fight was so bloody easy. Again, you... oh, sorry. Excuse me.
You're gonna
Now, you can kind of tell that the way the game is structured is it just kind of expects you to just cross the ocean and not really go up the way I went because of just how quickly... There we go. Because, again, just the way the enemy scaling worked.
all talk, no
Drop
action.
my controller. Okay, let's see. Now, I still need Kratos in the party for backup healing for fighting the Sword Dancer, but I think maybe after this I might move Kratos out of the party just so Lloyd, just so Lloyd, Colette, and Genus can get plenty of their art usage for the sake of learning new abilities. And yes, I know Kratos has spells too that he needs to use frequently, but I'm less concerned about him, if I'm being perfectly honest. All right. Take 2 of the Sword Dancer boss fight. Let's see if this new weapon and armor and the few levels I've gained will be enough to put it down. Fingers crossed for me. Okay, good. He's still here.
This isn't our
Crap,
day.
I forgot to put Colette back in the party. Oh well. Hold on, strategy. Okay, I'm putting you back on heal.
Ready?
Double demon fang.
No way! Beast!
Barrier.
Take this. First aid.
No way! Beast!
Are you okay?
Don't overdo it. First aid.
Okay.
No way!
I mean, we're definitely dealing way more damage to him.
Get him! Icicle!
Don't overdo it.
Are you okay?
First aid. Don't overdo it.
Are you okay?
Work.
Demon Fang!
Sonic thrust.
Sonic Thrust!
Ready? Barricade time. Stalagmite.
Yes, Stalagmite. Yes, powerful spells. Yes, hit him with the powerful spells. Huh. He's actually halfway dead now.
Take this.
Are you okay?
Don't overdo it. First aid.
Are you okay? First aid.
Don't
Are
overdo
you
it.
okay?
First
First
aid.
aid.
Don't
Are you
overdo it.
okay?
First aid. Don't
Are you
overdo it.
okay?
First aid.
Genus, why don't you grab yourself an orange bottle so you can keep casting some spells?
Work.
One thing I do like about the healing items in this game is that it's not restore X amount of TP, restore X amount of health or whatever. It's restore a percentage. So even the most basic healing items will always be somewhat useful, even late in the game. Alright.
Don't overdo it. First aid.
Alright. Kratos, you can have an orange. I mean, yes, it does mean it's like early on you're stuck with healing items that, you know, only restore like maybe 100 or so HP, but still, Woo! Genus, my man! Woo! Whew, man, okay, I guess I'm glad I didn't. Never expected running into an enemy like that. He was huge. I bet he lived in a big house before he became a skeleton. Colette, he's not human. He even had a horn. This may be because the end result of the elite being of the underworld. The underworld? That's just a legend, isn't it? Not necessarily. After all, demons and ghosts are completely different from our type of life form. It hasn't been proven yet, but I think it's likely that there's a world where those things that we refer to as demons and supernatural creatures live. An elite being of the underworld, but we took him out also. It's okay now, right? I hope so. Alright, so for those who aren't aware, Symphonia here is a prequel to the very first Tales game, Tales of Fantasia. Now, I was never able to play through Tales of Fantasia all the way through, but I think it's possible, like, the underworld thing comes up more in Fantasia. Again, I could be wrong. I haven't played it. Because besides the demon skeletal guy here, as well as just saying, oh, well, all supernatural entities are ex facto from the underworld, it doesn't really get brought up that much. Now, it does get brought up a lot more in Tales of Symphonia 2, you know, Dick of the New World. Ugh, sorry, I hate the sequel to this game. Mostly because since this was a prequel, it really did not need a sequel because, well, to be perfectly frank, words. Because to be perfectly frank, the story was pretty good on its own. And this game sets up the events of Fantasia well enough, so just adding an extra game just really muddles things, in my humble opinion. But I digress. Okay, I think it's time to make a decision. Do I continue the game the way it was meant to? Well, the way the game is scaled to, or do I... Fuck you. Or do I play through the game in the opposite order that I've never done before? I'm thinking just due to the fact that this is a vanilla playthrough without any level up bonuses, I might... Wait, am I? Wait. Did me going to those other areas and seeing... Have I actually committed myself to playing through the game out in this order? Huh. Or was it when I met Pietro? I think that was his name. You know, the guy who was sick and mumbling in Haima that we were determined to help. Huh. It looks like I have to play through the game this way now. That's fun. Alright. Okay. I'm not particularly upset by this. Because, I mean, it's something new I get to experience, but that is interesting. That is very interesting. I did not realize... Yeah, it's always interesting in bigger, like, old, you know, JRPGs like this. What, you know, when the game is like, well, you've now committed to this route because a certain script has run now, you know? Huh.
All right.
Because, yeah, that does make sense, because when I ran off north this way, like I mentioned in my very, very, very first playthrough of the game, I didn't trigger any of the scripts with Max, so... And I actually was unable to find Haima in my first playthrough, so I didn't meet Pietro early or anything like that.
This is going to be an arduous battle.
This is very interesting.
Here we go.
Right, Kratos isn't in the party.
Lloyd,
Wait, what?
come! Thunder's fury!
I didn't know that was a thing! That was cool. I've never seen that combo before. That was pretty fun. Okay, you know what? I don't really care. As not as good as this port is compared to the GameCube version, I am so excited about just how much new stuff I have seen on this live stream. So, fuck yeah, playing through this again was definitely worth it. That is something I'm a wee bit disappointed about more new RPGs. I mean, don't get me wrong. I vehemently love things like Mass Effect and Dragon Age and Skyrim and whatnot. But I feel like, again, let's take something like Mass Effect. The differences are more based on, you know, oh, can you persuade something? And you get a slightly different bit of dialogue rather than, well, but even then, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Are you okay?
And I'm not trying to sound like, you know, oh, nice. And I'm not trying to sound like an older, you know, video game elitist, but there is something about this, especially with like these older games, that often felt like they had, like, they were very strict in some ways, but then you could find like all these little things, you know, hidden behind, you know, that just aren't properly telegraphed to you. I mean, because again, don't get me wrong, as a, you know, grown man who doesn't have all the time in the world, I appreciate games like Mass Effect being like, here's a list of all your side quests, and here's where you have to go to do most of them. I understand. It's like, I understand you only have like 2 hours in between work and sleep, so we want to let you see as much of it as we can.
Are you okay? Perfect.
Like I think I've mentioned a few times, the Tales series, I think it's best described as
Are you okay?
an entry-level JRPG. So it's a little, so I mean, because I know that some people also consider some Final Fantasy games as an entry-level RPG, which, depending on the one, fair enough. But I feel the Tales series has always been a little easier than that, so it is a little new gamer friendly, but it's not as crazy in depth as something like the Persona series, which, don't get me wrong, I do like the Persona series. There is good things about the Persona series, but I've always hated that it is so guide heavy. Like, I think it's actually impossible to get all the social links unless you follow a guide. I mean, hell, when me and Abby played Persona 5 Royal, we had a guide, and they basically said, you know, it's like, okay, if you want to build all the relationships with every single character, you've got to do the harem ending, which I really don't like doing. Just because, and I know before anyone in the comments say, it's like, well, why not just do a polyamorous relationship? I'm like, you know, if that was an option, that's fine, but as it's presented in the game, the women you're dating aren't aware of the fact that you're dating other women, so you just kind of come across as, you know, a cocksucker. Plus, polyamory is not for me. I don't judge anyone who does do polyamory. It's not for me. Okay, so yeah. We can now actually go explore Asgard. Like, I actually was actively trying to not explore Asgard because I figured, oh, what's it called? What's what I'm looking for? Because I know that talking to some people in Asgard is how you progress the plot to go to the Wind Temple. So again, I was trying to avoid, you know, triggering those scripts in the game. But seems like that's not the script that needs to be run to commit you to doing the Wind Temple first. Again, honestly, I'm a little nervous, just because once again, the Wind Temple is harder than the Water Temple. As well as the fact, I think by the time I'm able to go to Palma Costa, the place that we're supposed to sail to, most of their shops are not going to have any use for me, since Asgard, I believe, has the best equipment you can get before you go to the Tower of Salvation. Again, at least in terms of just straight up buying equipment. Because, I mean, for the most part, you know, outside of, like, special endgame stuff,
Are you okay?
most of the best stuff in the game, you know, again, outside of the do this side quest to unlock an ultimate piece of equipment, most of the best weapons and equipment you do get from the crafting. Because, like, I think the absolute best sword you can get for Lloyd before you go to the Tower of Salvation, it's a crafting thing. And I've only ever actually gotten it one time. And that was my first playthrough where I actually took the time to grind out, you know, grade to spend on the crafting, which I'm trying to actually not do.
This is gonna be a
A sight of these revealed my glory. Angel feathers. Are you aware?
That was just warming up.
Well, for the 2 people who are currently watching, I'd like to say thank you for tuning into this stream. I realize I very rarely stop and thank the people who are actually watching, so I hope that at least kind of makes up for the lack of gratitude we've expressed in the past. It probably doesn't. I need to say thank you way more times, but still. Alrighty. Both got ring mail. Yeah, let's get the magic cloak. Right. I'm never gonna get used to that. Now that kind of empties my pockets. And then I bought something for... No, it was the... There we go. I really do need to buy more accessories. Just, they're so expensive, and I just haven't been coming across any of them. Yeah, alright. So Colette does have... Colette, and then of course the Hydra Dagger, but... I won't repeat why I'm not really buying the Hydra Dagger. I've already said it. Alright, let's explore Asgard. I don't remember if I've gone in here. I know I went up there, but... Yeah, no, I haven't been in here. I feel that little kid. Like, I remember being dragged to all these places that my parents wanted to go to because of how historic it is. But as a kid, I'm like, it's boring. I have to be quiet. I can't touch anything. Yeah, never had fun with that. Let's see. I don't think there's a Wonder Chef here. I don't remember if I found a Wonder Chef. Like, I don't remember if there's a Wonder Chef in every single town. I know there is one in a lot of them. Oh, good. Just got a text from Abby that all went well. So, yeah, that where she's at, it's going well, and that's good to hear. Good, good, good. Okay. Alright, if there is a Wonder Chef in here, I'm not seeing him. Alright, how much does it cost to stay here? I think it's 1,000. Oh, just 400? Sure, let's stay. Just to, okay, no cutscene. Alright. Worth a shot. Very broke now, but what can you do? Like many, many things, I'm not upset. Hey, little boy. Hi. I don't remember you. Alright. Yeah, you know, it's been a while since I've seen that, because I usually don't go in these caves, because from all my playthroughs, I'm like, I know that advancing the story doesn't really happen by going to these places, if you know what I mean. So I usually never would after the first time I did it. So because it's been a long time since I've gone in that cave, and I forgot that thing was there. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that duck there really looked like something a Wonder Chef might turn into. I'm actually thinking, okay, this might be, I might want to still spend the night here, because the setups with the multiple rooms that you could run into, I'm like, this seems like something that what's it called? Intruder cutscene that I've been getting might play out in. And like I said, in last stream, this town actually does have 3 different... Okay, no. Well, I'm out 700 gold. Tripping over my own words. Okay, I do think I have to go up that path back there to start the next part of the story, but again, I am doing this first. Huh. Is there really nothing interactable in here? Like, I can't even look at the books on the shelf and see what they are? Huh. Very peculiar. Oh well. What can you do? So yeah, if you haven't picked up, just because I admit I am not paying as much attention to the what the individuals are saying, since I am very familiar with this game and the story. They're talking about some girl named Aisha's getting sacrificed. Speaking of which, this is Aisha. Is there really nothing else out here? Huh. Okay. No, I didn't want to go down. I still need to actually dig through the room up here. There we go. Add the mysterious water ship, blah, 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 meat stew. Oh, I found out another way to build affection with people is based on what foods you cook. Like, because you know, some characters, they have food they really like, and some characters have food they really dislike. So the more you cook using an ingredients they like, they get +1 affection. And, well, you cook with something they don't like, they lose affection. That was something I also never knew about this game. And especially since I'm fairly certain that the affection is, like, outside of, you know, going to a fortune teller to have her, you know, tell you who you're closest with. I don't know if there really is ever a way to view that. No, I found out they also did something really stupid. So there is like a special thing you can do with Kratos in the final act of the game. In the GameCube version, all you had to do to get it was reject another offer. But in this game, what's it called? In the newer game, just the remake I'm playing, you have to get Kratos to be in like the top 3 people that are affectionate with you. Otherwise, you can't do it. And I'm like, that's dumb. I mean, okay, it does make some sense, but it's, I don't know, it's one of those things that just, I'm hearing about changes made, and I'm like, why? Why was that necessary? Especially since I'm like, is there a, I did kind of look up, I'm like, are there good places to grind money in this game? And I'm like, well, I know of the one that's the perfect place to grind for the end game content, but I found a Reddit thread, turns out they nerfed the way you used to have to grind money in the old game, meaning that, you know, what you would do to earn money in the GameCube version doesn't work anymore. I'm like, well, fuck you. It's not even like it was that broken of a way to get money, especially with how much money you need to do all the post-game, or not post-game, end-game content. But what makes things worse, unfortunately, is whatever. Oh, it's the Asgard ruins. Lloyd, state the historical background of this ruin. Well, let's see. It's a temple where Cleo III held a ritual to offer a sacrifice to the summoned spirit of wind in order to quell a storm that had raged for a week. That's it. God, have you learned anything at all from these past 5 years? PE and art and never mind. What perfect form! This delicate curve is said to express the flight of the summoned spirit of wind through the sky. In addition, it is said that this stone is infused with a large volume of mana, and at night... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the statues on the corners, they kind of vaguely look like the Sega character Knights to me. I'm saying the words vaguely. Hey, listen, Lard, this is my invention, the Breaker. If we use this bomb, we can easily destroy this confounded dais, or however it's called.
But Harley, this is a rare and valuable remnant of the Balcroft dynasty. We can't destroy it.
What are you talking about? As things stand out, Aisha may be killed. What are you two doing? Who are you?
It's not what you think. We weren't trying to destroy the ruin at all. What? What did you just say?
Professor, these guys said they're planning to destroy this whatever. This stage.
And you call yourself human beings?
I'm a half-elf.
What does that got to do with anything? You have no idea the importance of this rune.
That was an awkward animation that I've always disliked.
You're gonna destroy this fabulous ruins. Now listen, during the final day of the Balcroft dynasty, this ruin was...
Professor?
What? If you have any questions, I'll take them after the lecture.
The bomb's turned on.
I said if you have any questions, I'll take them What?
Woman, you flipped the switch!
Don't try to put this blame on someone else.
That doesn't matter now. Is there a disarm switch? Of course not.
Don't act like you're proud of it!
Guess I'll just have to disarm it myself. Hey, you're pretty good to be able to stop the uncontrollable breaker. Don't go around building stuff you can't control!
The ruins seem to be unharmed.
Trespassing in this area is forbidden.
Oh no, it's the mayor.
Uh-oh. Run! Professor, this looks like trouble. Let's just get out of here.
But I haven't had time to study the structure of the...
Just come on. Hurry, everybody.
I wanted to study it more. Who were those two?
I wonder why they wanted to destroy the ruins.
Yes, the ruins. We have to stop them from engaging in such foolish acts. Let's, like, trying to destroy a ruin. Let's go, Lloyd.
Excuse me. Let's see, this is where they live. You those tourists from earlier.
I am a scholar?
Whatever, get out. Harley, stop it! This is my house! I understand that you were the ones who stopped Harley and my brother. Thank you.
I'm not sure stopped is the best way to put it.
They got in our way. It doesn't matter what you call it. The point is, the people of the city are the ones who would suffer if that ruin was destroyed. But as things are, you're going to be sacrificed. Sacrificed?
It's a ritual in honor of the summoned spirit of the wind. Aisha was chosen for it. Originally, the ritual consisted of just a dance scene on the stone platform, but...
That idiot started meddling with the stone dais as part of his research and opened the seal. Because of that, the summoned spirit of wind thing awoke and demanded sacrifices.
The seal, do you mean?
What? The seal? Yes, if you two are researching the Balcroft ruins.
So, if you reach the Balcroft ruins, then you must be aware of the altar erected to praise the summoned spirit of wind. The seal really exists, just as the legend said. Are you saying that the Balcroft pillar hieroglyphics are not just a myth?
Sounds like that isn't the seal we're looking for. Rain, aren't you forgetting why we're on this journey?
Well, if it's alright, it's not as if it's completely out of our way. Yes, in the back of the platform there's a small indentation and...
That's enough. Aisha is about to be sacrificed to some spirit tonight. Now get out of here. So, I don't remember if this is something in this game, but I do remember in the second game you actually have the ability to, wait, I think where I need to go is actually back that way. Going back that way. There's actually a dungeon underneath that platform up there. Like I said, I don't remember if that's something you can do in this game as well. Because I really want to say that was just something they added for the second game in order to justify why that stupid game even exists by having new content. Are you the mayor? No. Okay.
You're the ones that went up on the dais.
I'm a scholar. May I please have your mission to study the ruins?
There's an idiot just like you in the city already. Thanks to him, the city's tourism industry is on the verge of collapsing. I refuse.
What are you talking?
What are you talking about?
You want to know? Try asking Lenar.
If you're talking about the sacrifice, we've already heard about it. And you should understand, we can't allow anyone to disturb the dais any further and risk bringing down the wrath of the summoned spirit of wind. The only one who may step upon the stage is the summoned spirit dancer.
Then I shall become the dancer. Then it would be fine for me to go up on the stage, yes? The professor?
This may be our next seal. If we could meet the summoned spirit, we should be able to tell. The sacrifice that the summoned spirit seeks might even be the chosen of mana.
I see. That's our professor. You want to study the rune firsthand. Or you just want to study the rune firsthand. You should learn to keep your mouth shut, Lloyd.
Please, Mayor.
Do as you wish, or be held responsible for the cost of your life.
It's not right for you to have to take my place.
There's nothing to worry about.
Rain, are you sure? You're going to be okay?
Yes, now it's time I change clothes. Would you mind?
So, fun fact, this is actually an unlockable costume for Rain that you can get for her later in the game. I have nothing further to add. I just thought I'd share. You know, I also remember the second costumes were actually kind of a big deal for me as a kid. So I think besides Ocarina of Time letting you change your tunic, I'd never played a game where you had any form of choice over the playable characters. So that was something else that made this game, or at least some choice over their appearance. I'm having a girl. That was something else that did make me like this game more, because it was, once again, something new I'd never experienced before. Now I know second costumes and character changing appearances are accepted and expected, but it's not. No, Professor, that's an evil creature. It's not the guard of the. It's not the guardian of the seal.
Isn't our day.
Barrier.
I bet it reveal thy glory.
No way.
Angel feathers.
Here we go.
Hammer. Lightning. Lloyd. Come.
What?
Thunder's fury.
You did it with Genus, not Lloyd. Genus is like, what the fuck? What am I to you? Just chopped liver?
No way. Tempest ready.
Hammer. Sorry. Are you okay?
Oh, jeez. I did not realize. I thought I would have to walk up to the DS. Yes. Yeah, it's been too long since I played this game. So I thought I'd have time to put Kratos back in the party, because I really like having an extra healer for these boss fights.
Okay. First aid. Sorry.
Okay, I'm taking a healing item.
Get him. Lightning. Are you okay? First aid. Are you okay? First aid.
Sonic thrust. There. No way.
Are you okay? First aid. Are you okay?
No way.
Hey, time. Stalagmite.
No way.
Are you okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm over limit. Alright, I'm just gonna wail on him.
Are you okay?
Sonic thrust. Tiger Blade. No way.
Are you okay?
There.
Sorry.
Okay, it's almost down.
No way. No way.
Are you okay? First aid.
There. No
Are
way.
you okay? First aid.
No way.
Are you okay? First aid. Stay.
Fantastic, you're fantastic, Rain. It was hardly a challenging opponent. And more importantly, about that stone tablet you acquired.
Acquired map of Balcroft.
This stone tablet has ancient Balcroft writing inscribed on it.
Let's decipher it right away. I have the necessary materials assembled in my house.
Yes, let's go.
Thank you very much. That thing wasn't the summoned spirit of wind after all, was it? I bet Rain and Lennar will investigate what it really was. Yeah, that Rain is a half-elf after all. You can count on her wisdom. I don't know why I gave him a lisp randomly. He didn't have one before. No, you're wrong. Rain isn't an elf. Rain is an elf. I'm an elf too. What? Surely you don't think I mistook my own... actually, I guess I was wrong. It seems you are pureblood elves. Yeah, dumb kid me completely missed that as a kid. Like, it completely went over my head. It's just, because the game said that, you know, Rain and Genus were just elves, I didn't question that. We should get some rest too, I'm exhausted. Also, I also kind of completely missed... Because they don't outright come out and say people are racist against half-elves until a little later in the game, so that also went completely over my head. Yeah, I was dumb. Looks like the professor hasn't come back yet. Are you serious? She's conducting research with Lennar. Let's go get her. All right.
Excuse me. Good timing, I just finished deciphering it. The professor's amazing. She deciphered the complex Balcroft writing in no time at all.
Heh. Rain just gained another fan. She's quite the catch, huh? Uh-huh.
It would appear that the monster was the cause of the calamity that afflicted the ancient Balcroft Empire. It seems that the summoner at the time used Sylph, the summoned spirit of wind, to steal it away and then built the stone dais to suppress the calamity. In preparation for the day when the calamity might reawaken, he left this map in order for the people to be able to locate the summoned spirit of wind.
After a great many years, people eventually confused the calamity with the summoned spirit of wind. So now you know where the summoned spirit of wind is located?
Of course, location of the summoned spirit is the location of the next seal.
Wow. What the summoned spirit of wind is like. Can't wait to see it. Now we can finally regenerate the world. Regenerate the world? Now that I think about it, what is your purpose for coming to the city? You don't look like the ordinary travelers or tourists.
Well, then if you know our next destination, we should be on our way. Yes, it's likely that the seal is inside the Balcroft Mausoleum.
All right, let's get going. Well, please take care. Rain, rejoin the party. You can keep using force field. Wait. My brain am thinking good with stuff. So, I do know, I think there's going to be a wee bit of comedy that we are going to miss out on. Oh yeah, there is definitely a few comedic scenes we are going to miss out on doing it this way because of, we're going to recruit a character before we get to the city Palmacosta. That was quite a summoned spirit of wind. But thanks to that, we know where the real seal is. That's good, right? Yeah, wonder what the next seal's gonna be like. I'm a little scared, but you're with me, so I'll be okay. It'll be okay, right? Yeah, leave it to me. Okay.
Alright, let's head back to the Balcroft Mausoleum.
This is going to be an arduous task.
It's Genus, not Lloyd.
Sorry.
Give the guy the credit he's due, dang it.
All right.
Balcroft Mausoleum.
This isn't our day. Are you okay? First aid. Sorry. Hellhammer.
No way.
Ready? Barrier.
All right.
Meat stew, it's nice and beefy.
Climb the central stairway and offer the map at the altar.
Yes, Professor.
It seems we were responding to the map of Balcroft.
It crossfaded into existence. It's an oracle stone. Just like we thought, the seal is real. Okay, then I'm gonna put my hand on it. Let's hurry up and get this over with. Oh, this is pretty cool. I feel like an explorer.
You always start out enthusiastic.
I can hear the sound of wind? Right. I need to block the wind so I can light the torches so I can actually read. Always hated. The... Like, this is something that was even a problem in the GameCube version, that
Careful, everyone.
hit detection on these traps is finicky.
Are you okay? Sorry. Don't get in my way. Are you okay? First aid.
as I expected.
Oh, good. There's the memory gem. The world is a giant. Its ruby left hand is the throne. The world is a giant. Its ruby left hand is the throne of the gods. The emerald right hand is the power of the gods. The pearl white. Right. Yeah. Sadly, something I've never liked about this dungeon is you have to remember. Like that last one we just read, like some of these are just flavor text, but that last one we read, it's like you need to remember the description of all of those in order to do the puzzles to complete the dungeon. I've never been too keen on those, mostly because I'm just kind of bad at them. I'm never able to get across those traps without taking a shit ton of damage. Okay.
We can do it! Are you okay? First aid! Are you okay? Hellhammer! Get him! Ready? First aid! Are you okay? Got it! Dispatch!
I mean, I'm glad we have that, but could you please learn an offensive spell, Rain? I know you've only got like 2 or 3 of them, but
Are you okay? First aid!
Just as I expected.
okay, looks like we're done here. Oh, okay, I can actually see the wind blowing there now. Oh,
Let's go.
ooh, gargoyles.
Here we go.
Are you okay? Hellhammer! Lloyd! Come! Thunder's fury!
I wonder if she can do any combos with Kratos, and if she would still, or Rain, and she'd still call them Lloyd. It's like, I know that Lloyd and Colette have one of the more powerful combos in the game. It's called Stardust Rain, but still,
Are you okay?
we don't have access to that yet.
Are you okay? First aid! Don't get in my way! Ready? First aid! Barrier!
That was just
And
warming up.
we win. Sorry, 1 second. I need to respond to this real quick. Sorry. Yeah, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. You have to memorize what each one of those things basically is, so you can it, like it said, you know, the yacht, just that kind of that poem was saying, you know, this goes to this, that goes to that, because, oh, yeah, this. Corinne. So yeah, amusingly, if you play through this game, so yeah, you gotta memorize what, because with those fans you have to blow. So again, if you played through the game in like the intended route, going to the water temple first, this would actually be the second time that we've seen Sheena show up, you know, chasing after us. But the funny thing is that with the water temple, getting into it, the door is only open for a short period of time. So amusingly, Sheena actually is unable to follow us into that temple because of, just because by the time she gets Noah out of the way, the door closes behind us. Not something that happens here. Now, like I said, we are going to sadly miss out on that little bit of physical comedy because of, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I think by the time we're able to go to the water temple,
Not bad, am I?
we would have already recruited Sheena to our party. Again, I could be wrong, but... But yeah, point is, I freely admit, I've just kind of pulled up the order we're supposed to blow the fans in, because I don't want to commit that to memory, honestly. Yeah. Oh. Huh. Here. That one. Right, that's right. I do have the poison charm on. Alright, so Colette can have this one then. East High, okay. Yeah. Again, sorry about that, but like I know I've said I'm not big on guides, but I'm perfectly okay cheating on this one. The Sorcerer's Ring's acting weird. I guess it makes wind. I wonder what you can use it for. Alright. Yeah, we might actually want to head back to one of the houses of salvation to heal up before the boss fight, because I remember this boss fight in my first playthrough was one of the bosses I genuinely struggled with on my first playthrough of this game.
Are you ready? Angel feathers.
Okay.
Are you okay? Perfect.
Just as I expected.
I'm still trying to figure out how exactly Lloyd's able to get his swords in the sheath that way. Alright, so... EX gems. EX gems are good.
Are you okay? Perfect. I beg
Yeah, so it was also funny. As a kid, I didn't understand, because I talked about like the difference between the T-types and the S-types with the EX gems. I didn't really realize that was how that was controlled. So I made Lloyd an S-type since his S-type abilities at the time seemed better. But I'm not gonna lie, the actual S-type moves Lloyd learn are definitely not as interesting. Because instead of double Demon Fang, you learn Fierce Demon Fang, which isn't let's see. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with, because so everyone has a personal ability that they get access to. I think some are on. I don't remember if all of them are their level 2 EX skills, but for the most part, yeah, it's best to go for their personals. But yeah, I was being disappointed. It's like, why does Kratos learn double Demon Fang, which is another ranged attack, but I am getting Fierce Demon Fang, which was, because Fierce Demon Fang isn't a ranged attack. No. Adjust your footing. There we go. Another chest. Oh, it's another... Okay, if I hadn't already bought those nicer ribbons, it might have been useful. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to trek back to a House of Salvation before doing this next boss fight.
Are you okay?
Yeah, especially since Rain's out
Just as I expected.
of TP for healing. Alright. Let's just stop to this. Alright, fine, we'll fight.
You're going down! Are you okay? I beg of thee, don't feel that glory. Are you ready? Angel feathers! Found a weakness! Ready? No way! No way!
Right.
Are you okay? Thanks. Sorry. Ready?
Just as I expected.
There we go. Alright. Oh, come on. Right, red. Yellow. Got it. What? Did I not get it? There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's go stay at an inn. Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to trek pretty far back to get... Oops. 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 Ow. And then... it's just going to be kind of assumed Sheena is going to just be running around in there for a long while until we get back. Yeah, I really wish one of the guys outside the mausoleum was like an inn. I know there wasn't anything like that at the Fire Temple, and there's definitely not anything like that at the Water Temple. Like, honestly, in some ways, the Water Temple is actually one of the harder ones to do, because you don't really have the option to just run out of the dungeon like I'm doing now and running to a healer. I mean, okay, I guess you do, but it's a much more drawn-out process. Yeah, amusingly, I've actually been replaying the remake of Final Fantasy I on the Game Boy Advance, which was, again, one of the first RPGs I ever played before this one. So, both are very significant in my brain because of, again, their proximity to when I got to play them. What's what I'm looking for? And I forgot how convenient that game was by letting you buy like tents and cottages so you could, you know, just leave a dungeon and then just rest rather than have to go specifically to a healer to get your health and TP back. Albeit, granted, unlike Final Fantasy, you can actually recover your TP or your mana or whatever the mechanic is in whatever game you're playing at in combat. That's not something you can do in at least some of the Final Fantasy games. I want to be clear, I am not a Final Fantasy expert by any stretch of the imagination. I've beaten the first one, the 3D remake of the third one, and then I've beaten 12 and 15. I have played the second one, I have played the fourth one, I briefly played the fifth one, I have never played the seventh one, albeit I did try the remake of the seventh one, never finished it, didn't much care for it. Never played 8, never played 9 or 10, haven't played either of the MMOs, and then, yes, I've played 13 because I had some roommates who kept insisting, no, it's really good. Oh, hey, Muffin. It's nice to see ya. How are ya?
Are you ready? Angel feathers.
No way.
Albeit, I am kind of looking for... Okay, you know what? We're just going to run away. Just so we're not completely, you know, cooked
Gotta know when to
before
go.
we do the boss fight. Damn it.
Give them no.
But yeah, I do plan on playing... And yeah, I think for me, when it comes to Final Fantasy, I am...
Gotta know when to go.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. That was Final Fantasy to me. Again, yes, and then the few handhelds of Final Fantasy I did have as a kid. But that was about it. Alright. Let's see if I can do this. Because legitimately, this, out of all the seals, this was the most difficult one, and this is the first time I'm doing it out of order. So, we're finally at the altar. I'm sick of this dungeon.
You have no patience.
Wait, I sense increasing mana. Let's see. Hey, Luke, I'm good. Just a bit tired, but feel relaxed because I got a week-long break from school. That's good. That's lucky. I haven't had a week-long break in anything since I graduated college. Since being an adult is hard.
This is
All right. No.
dangerous
Okay.
situation.
All right. You attack.
I'll help. Ready? Dizzy. Hammer.
Lightning.
Yeah, let's see if she still says Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Yes, she still says Lloyd.
Thunder's fury.
It's Kratos this time. Like, I know you're simping for Lloyd. I mean, I'm judging. He's probably he's like the only boy your age in the school, and you know, probably one of the only people who ever treated you like an individual. Like, honestly, something I overlooked as a kid, just because it's not directly. Okay. Does that actually do... Yeah, that does wind damage, so I'm going to have to equip that after this fight, because otherwise... Pow, pow. Okay. Now, I'm not going to equip Pow Pow Hammer just yet, because sometimes those combination attacks only work if you use a attack that's of the same level, and since we only... I don't know. I'll equip it anyway and see if it works.
Don't overdo it.
But yeah, just realizing it's like probably a reason why Colette appreciates Lloyd and, you know, kind of loves Lloyd as much as she did is because, well, he treats her just like another person. He's probably one of the only people that doesn't treat her like she's, oh, this fragile, exalted, you know, person to be worshipped because she's the chosen one. It's like, you're my friend, and you'll always be my friend. Let's see, I've only heard one person named Lloyd as their first name before, and that was an animated green ninja with the power of energy. Interesting. Yeah, it's not a name you hear that often anymore.
Are you okay?
And it's apparently there's a character named Lloyd in Pit Legends of Dragoon, which resulted in a roommate, an argument with my roommate being like, your Lloyd's not as good as mine. I'm like, this isn't a dick measuring contest.
Don't overdo it.
Plus, to my understanding, again, I've never played Legend of Dragoon. This roommate kind of put me off ever playing that game.
Are you okay?
Just I have a similar reason why I'll never play a Golden Sun game. Yes, it's a stupid reason, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm like, from what he said, it's like, your Lloyd's a villain, whereas mine's the main protagonist. They're meant to fill different roles.
Don't overdo it.
Literally apples and oranges. Can we not just stop and appreciate the characters for who they are and not... Like, again, we don't need to make our favorite video games a dick measuring contest.
Be careful.
Don't overdo it.
Are you okay? First aid.
Because, like, there were a number of times when someone's like, oh, why are you playing this game? It just looks like a less interesting version of this other game. I'm like, okay, but, okay, yeah, so Pow Pow Hammer is not compatible with my game. Good to
Don't
know.
overdo it.
What matters is that you like the game. You know? It doesn't matter if there's another game out there that maybe plays better, maybe looks better. What matters is that you really like what you have in front of you. Because, like, I had another friend who's like, you know, if you like RPGs, you really should play Chrono Trigger, and that really should be your favorite video game because it's the only truly great RPG out there. Yeah, another different roommate than the one who put me off Legend of Dragoon. But yeah, this guy was like refused to, you know, try any of my games when we were trying to all mutually share games with each other as roommates. It's like, well, I don't need to play your game because I've played Chrono Trigger and I've grown up playing Final Fantasy, so I'm more cultured in because I've played actual good video games. Like, don't get me wrong, like I've said multiple times throughout this playthrough, the Tales series is designed to be kind of kids' first JRPG. So, yes, I could understand how someone who grew up playing some RPGs that are a bit more, I guess, intense, for lack of a better word, might find a Tales game boring, but you don't have to be an asshole about it. And you don't have to constantly trying to argue that yours is better. Because I know he tried to be like, well, Final Fantasy 12, basically, because Final Fantasy 12, you know, talks way more adult, is automatically a better game than Symphonia. Which I'm like, don't get me wrong, I actually really like Final Fantasy 12.
To the species.
But I actually think as a whole, Symphonia is a game that holds up, is a better game than Final Fantasy 12 as a whole, because its story's better. Oh boy. I'm very concerned.
Joseph Regeneration, you have done well in reaching this far. Now offer your prayers at the altar.
Yes! O Goddess Martel, great protector and nurturer of the earth, grant me thy strength! Oh look, balls. Sup, Remiel?
The second seal is now released. You have done well, chosen one, Colette.
Thank you, Father.
Accept this blessing from Crucius. I hereby grant you additional angelic powers.
Father?
The next seal lies far northwest in a place that gazes upon the center of the world. Offer your prayers at the altar in that distant land.
Father, have I done something to displease you?
It matters not. All that is needed is for you to become an angel.
You know, I need to actually rewatch my stream of when we did the fire seal to see if what he says, go to the next altar, he did specifically mean go to the...
Be waiting next seal, Colette, my daughter. Hurry and become a true angel. Do not disappoint me.
If what he said really did indicate go to the water temple first. Because, like, what he just described, I'm like, wait a second, that's the Tower of Mana he just described. But I'm fairly positive we can't go into the Tower of Mana until after we've done the water temple. So it really makes me wonder if that's actually a scripting issue. That while, yeah, the game was designed to go out of order, it doesn't properly factor in which dungeons you've done, if you know what I mean. What's up with him? He always talks like he's so important.
Apologize to Colette!
It's alright, Lord Remiel does sound like that. Well, we shall get to the next seal, although he was confusing as usual.
Stop complaining, let's get moving.
See, people like different games. Honestly, don't have a care for first-player shooter games, even though I'm not one to enjoy those games. There's still one FPS games I do enjoy. No, I get ya. I mean, that's the reality of the situation is I'm not a big fan of shooter games either. But I will admit, I really love Left 4 Dead 2. I got a lot of mileage out of that in college. I actually do rather enjoy Halo Reach. I have not played it in years, and I don't know if I'll ever play it again, but I do really like that one. I'm trying to remember if I ever did anything Halo Reach related as like a one-off stream. I know I did Left 4 Dead 2 as a one-off stream for like Halloween. And then we did do some Left 4 Dead 2 stuff, Abby and I, for the Halloween video, the one where she just kept shooting at the cars. And I kind of enjoy Splatoon, but as a whole, I don't touch first-person shooters with a 10-foot pole. Then I don't really like puzzle games, or as a whole, I don't really like any of the Persona games or any games that play out like Persona, because again, I don't like how guide-heavy those games are. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't really enjoy Persona 4.
Be careful of it. Let's get out of here.
We're going to Raven's fight for another reason.
Gotta know when to go.
And once again, there's another reason why this particular, dungeon is normally recommended for a little later. Stop. Because we just finished a boss fight. That voice. Oh no. And we've now got to do another one. Just because one game of a genre doesn't mean you won't like another game. It's like, that's true. Yeah, because I mean, I remember, like, I've even recommended a couple games to some friends, and some friends have recommended a couple games to me. It's like, well, they play like a game you really like. I'm like, okay, just because I don't really like, just because it plays like a game I like, doesn't mean I'm going to like this game. Because as I've often experienced when I'm playing a game that has a similar gameplay to a game I like, I just find myself being like, I want to play the other game, because every game has some little differences in how it controls. Like, that was an issue I had with Star Ocean: The Last Hope is legitimately terrible, but okay, not legitimately terrible, it has some high points, but when I was playing that, I found myself just wanting to play a Tales game. The day has finally come. This ancient ruin shall be your grave. Oh, you're here too! Stay back, don't move, don't touch anything. No, we're finally becoming friends, why do we have to fight? Since what? I have no intention of befriending you. Prepare yourself.
Get ready.
Yes, I really like this song. What's your point?
Here we go.
Don't overdo it.
Sonic thrust. Follow it up. Cross thrust.
Don't overdo it.
First aid.
Oh. Finally! God damn it! Why couldn't you have learned that sooner? Holy hell! Do you have any idea how helpful that would have been against the Sword Dancer?
Are you okay?
Yes, I know Rain only learns 2 offensive spells, but I'm gonna bitch, damn it!
Work.
Are you okay?
Don't overdo it.
First aid.
Fire seed.
Anyway, what did you think of my blue Pikachu?
Okay?
Oh, it looked kind of sad. Like, you weren't lying when you described the blue Pikachu as it kind of looked sickly, but at the same time, it was still a blue Pikachu, and it was really cute. So, yeah, I liked it.
Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it.
First aid. Are you okay?
Yeah, I still think to this day, this song Fatalize is and will always be my favorite battle music in any video game.
Are you okay?
On the one hand, I'm glad they don't overuse it, because it makes the few fights where Fatalize does play, you know, that much more special. At the same time, I just...
Lloyd, you need to remember that enemy's weakness.
Oh man, you're making me study here too?
She's a human. Her weakness is her vital organs. Ugh, why can't I win? Goodness and love will always win. Genus, please don't bring up that stupid dwarven vow. Goodness, what do you mean, goodness? What do you mean, goodness? If you're good, I'm good as well. No, not you too. Everyone stop saying corny things. What do you know? When you regenerate the world, my country will be destroyed. I won't let that happen, I swear. Wait, what are you talking about? If I regenerate the world, everyone will be saved, right? This world will be saved.
Stop. Who are you? Stop. Who are you? So, you're not alone?
This world? What's she mean?
That girl, is she?
Do you know her?
No, let's get out of here.
Let's see. I can see why you like the music. It sounds great. Yes, it does. So, I will admit, one thing I do prefer about playing through the game in its normal order, going fire, water, wind, and then light with the temples, you don't get that that line drop that Sheena said about our world will be saved. You don't get it until after you've beaten the 3rd dungeon. So, over 2/3 of the way through our quest to regenerate the world. So I kind of like, for lack of a better word, I like the way, just where the foreshadow, that, hint for what's to come happens a little later in the quest.
Oh no. We must let her rest immediately.
Time to set up camp then.
Yes, but if this is going to happen every time she releases a seal, Colette is going to have a difficult journey ahead of her. For the time being, I'm going to call the phenomenon angel toxicosis.
Colette, are you okay? Does it hurt? I'm fine. It'll go away soon. I'm sorry for worrying everyone.
Love you,
Okay,
Colette.
that's enough. You're not allowed to apologize anymore, okay?
I'm sorry.
Colette, you're still up?
I couldn't sleep.
You may feel better now, but you still need to rest.
I know. I'll go to sleep in a little bit. Don't worry.
But still,
Kratos is still awake too. See?
that's because he volunteered to be the Night Watch. You need to rest.
Okay.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Please, dream some good dreams for me, Lloyd.
Poor Colette. So for those who forgot or weren't here for it, after we released the other seal, she started talking about the fact that, she started eating foods she didn't like before, or started eating started eating less and less. Now she's, what's wrong? Well, this whole seal breaking thing, it's starting to get boring. Well, no! I haven't forgotten the people of Visalia and all the other victims.
Good.
I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
A single mistake could destroy everything. You should think about what your reason for being on this journey is.
But now she's talking, and she just said, please dream some dreams for me. Let's see, she fell over legit, though. If it was real life and one of my friends fell over like that, I would be worried. Very worried and scared. Yeah, I don't blame you. Colette's a character that my heart breaks for. Because she's been, told her whole life she's expected to save the world, which that's just not good for a person's psychology, just having all that weight thrust upon her. But to make things worse, she kind of expects, she has, because she's been told she's going to save the world, she clearly kind of expects herself to, to be conducted like, a true chosen one, not showing any weakness whatsoever, that even when she's suffering, she feels like she has to do it in silence, because admitting that she has a problem is... It's like the chosen one is not supposed to be sad, not supposed to be in pain, not supposed to be miserable, It's just... An assassin came after Colette again. Why would anyone consider Colette a problem? If she regenerates the world, won't everyone be happy? She said kind of strange. Remember, something like people on our side will suffer. But she didn't look like a bad person. Colette, she was trying to kill you. Oh, yeah. But she really did have gentle eyes. Now you mention it, she did, didn't she?
Enough of this nonsense. You're naive. It will be the death of you.
Yeah, I know, but still. Let's see. Oh, again, though, are those blob frogs? Yeah, they're just... The game kind of is like big blob frogs equal, you know, bigger fights, but bigger rewards, smaller blobs. Yeah. It's just, it was limitations of the time, so they just kept the design simplistic. Let's see. Also being born with the expectation to save the world, you would feel the weight on you constantly. Yeah. And again, I feel that's the reason why it's important to remember kind of why she loves Lloyd as much as she does. I mean, again, I think they do make a great couple, but I will admit I do prefer Lloyd with Sheena, but because Lloyd's one of the only people out there who treated her like just another person. I mean, heck, Lloyd, even in that scene, is basically telling her, I don't care that you're the chosen one, you're my friend, and I need you to take care of yourself. Okay. Huh. Okay, shit. Huh. Okay, I guess... I mean... Shit. Okay, okay, let's, I'm gonna need to end the stream soon. Okay, let's go to the Tower of Mana. Like I said, I'm positive we can't actually get in yet, but I'm... I don't know, maybe we can now go back and see if Max is back? Maybe? And now we're still locked out. I know we still can't get over the pass, but... Okay, I am very confused. Because like I said, this is the first time I've done the dungeon out of order like this. But I just kind of assume... Because normally, after... If you do the dungeons in the designated order, a cutscene would play out when you went back to Lewin like that, but it didn't. So it makes me wonder, I'm like, okay, do I have to go back and still sail across with Max? But it's like, which makes me wonder, like, if that's how you're supposed to do it, then what's even the point of doing the dungeons out of order if you still have to cross the ocean with Max? I don't know. I don't know. On the one hand, it means we might not miss out on some of those humorous scenes, but on the other hand, I'm like, why even give you the option?
Was that
I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna go check one more place, and if nothing happens, then yeah, I guess we'll just have to go back to Isolde, I think is what it's called, and see if Max is back, and see if he can take us across the ocean. You know, one thing I am very disappointed about with just how limiting the camera control is, as well as the draw distance, which I'm like, this was the GameCube. It had better draw distance than, say, the PlayStation 3 or N64. But because you're very limited in your ability to look around at the camera, you can't, like, look off in the distance. Oh, maybe if we go back to Haima. Like I said, I'm going to check the mountain pass real quick, and then we can hit up Haima on the way back and see if something changes. But what's what I'm looking for? I feel the game loses a little because, like, if you could control the camera and there was better draw distance, you could actually like see the Tower of Salvation off in the distance. Yep. Okay. Okay, I guess we have to cross the ocean. Once again raises the question as to why. Why did we have... Again, why even let us play it out of order if we still have to cross the ocean? Because I could have sworn what was supposed to happen, or what I've seen other people do, is that they do the Balcroft Mausoleum, get the cutscene here, so then they're actually able to recruit Sheena and have her be part of the party for the water dungeon. Again, I could be remembering wrong, but I could have sworn that was something that could be done. Whatever. Like I said, we're going to go to Haima, see if anything's changed there. Sorry, we're going to have to... I'm on a bit of a time crunch. I need to wrap up my stream pretty quick. But I also want to definitively figure out where to go next, just so... Hey, want to see the blue Pikachu but squeezed? Yes, I would very much like that. Please go ahead and share that in the Discord. But yeah, I want to at the very least know where I'm going next, so the next stream doesn't start with me wandering aimlessly. Because yeah, another reason I'm a bit disappointed about doing the things out of order is because I thought the story could play out slightly differently if done out of order, but... Yeah, I know. But if it's like if all that literally is going to happen is we literally just did it out of order, what's the point? Oh, good. More. Okay, good. Okay, but you're gonna get the paralysis charm, because... I need you to not... I need you not to get... paralyzed. Alright, let's go up and talk to Pietro.
Are you unable to sleep, Chosen?
Oh no, I'm fine!
If you cannot sleep, you should count the stars, although a human life is far too short to count them all.
It's a good idea. I'll try that. Oh, that Pikachu. Oh, its poor little head. Alright, save. Alright. Let's go to Azul, I guess. You know, after 20 years of knowing there was an alternative way to, you know, proceed through the story, but never triggering it, mostly just because after I found out it was a thing, usually I'm like, I just want to cruise through the story so I can get to the part, because like
normally I'm like, okay, I want to see the different cutscenes that play out in the end game with different levels of affection, trying to get the extra costumes, etc., etc., etc. I feel a little let down to know that the story isn't there. The changes to the story and the cutscenes might be incredibly minimal. It's like kind of being told Santa ain't real. Alright, I'm going to save out here. And then I'm going to go in. Alright, Max, you back? No? I... Excuse me. Excuse me. Huh. 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 Okay, so yes, we are going to need to cross the ocean eventually, but yeah, we're going to the we can actually go to the Tower of Mana beforehand. But unfortunately, that's all I've got time for today, since I ended up streaming a wee bit longer than I meant to. So I'm gonna need to depart here. Oh, thank you for the blessing. It's okay, that's on the Discord that I share stuff. Is it okay that the interest obviously isn't anything weird personally? Weird. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, we used to have a bit of a rule, like only share things that pertain to the channel, but I think we've gotten a little chill about that, and that was more, we were like, don't spam the channel. Honestly, I don't really mind if you share stuff on there, because I've shared some art. I mean, okay, to be fair, some of the art I was sharing was for a D&D thing for the channel that never came to pass, but still, I don't mind, because I like to think our community is pretty chill, so I'm going to say go right ahead and keep on sharing that. Anyway, like I said, I gotta get going, so I'm not sure when, but I'll see you then. Bye-bye.